entertainment. His life that he is over here at the NFL Draft in Pittsburgh. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors, 5-Hour Energy, ZipRecruiter, and Marriott Bonvoy. Patrick.
I learned something about myself last night as we were hanging out in that Marriott section, which was amazing. Thanks again, Evan, for sneaking us into the club. We all fam.
We all fam.
But I learned that I don't know how to take a picture. Because we took a group picture together, which was really cool, and everyone looked great in it. And then I saw myself, and I had to zoom in a little bit because I have the weirdest hand of all time. So if you're watching TV, you can see it's a great picture. Everyone looks great. If you look at my right hand, it's just sitting on my thigh in the weirdest possible way. And I just didn't know what to do.
Gosh.
It was like Will Ferrell. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know how to fix this.
Smalls, give him advice. You take pictures for a living. At least I saw yesterday. The amount of pictures she took, I've never seen anything like it.
Of myself or of others?
Of yourself.
Well, Evan, I am also a great assist to others taking photos for their social media documentation. I would take more of Evan, but he's like, no.
Anyway, not the
Don't
point.
take my photos.
The point is, what should he do with his hand? If he's posing for a group team photo in a work environment like that.
Just let the hand hang down the side. You don't need to prop it up on your thigh.
I panicked.
Just let it gently hang down the side of your body. Right?
Normally I go hand in the pocket.
It's not something that I've ever thought about.
Can we get the photo back up again so we could really just diagnose this? Because I didn't
At
notice
Sports ESPN on Twitter and at
Yes.
Sports Like on Instagram, because it is there too for people listening on the radio that you want to pop it up here as well.
Okay, look at Lou's hand, second from the left, just hanging down. Look at my hand, just hanging down. The arm just hanging down gently.
I didn't know what to
what
do.
you were thinking.
Pat looks
I
like
wasn't.
he's patting his thigh. It's very, very strange.
Yeah, it looks like your phone is vibrating in your pocket, and you're just trying to...
In fairness to me, this
Make
was
sure.
immediate self-report by myself.
You know what the
I
move
clocked
is?
it. My sister made fun of me a lot.
I think I figured out the move.
What?
Lou held her phone in her hand. That'll give your hand something to do.
I normally just go hand in the pocket, but I panicked.
Okay. All right.
Hand in the pocket.
That seems super creepy, too.
Yeah, I don't know if I would
Creepy.
love that for a dude, hand in the
Seems
pocket.
very strange.
It's better than whatever I was doing.
Yeah, that's right. It can't get worse. That was awkward.
That's fair.
But you know what? Now you can be better moving forward. You've seen the tape, make adjustments. You'll be good moving forward.
I appreciate the accountability, Pat.
too.
Well done.
It's tough.
All right, bartender, next one.
So yesterday we were actually back here at it was about happy hour, and we were hanging out with Rob Lorenzo, social media guru for the show, and he committed a cardinal sin as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, no.
We had an order of fries for everyone.
Right.
There were a bunch of us who were eating them. Rob goes ahead like a maniac and dumps ketchup on top of the whole thing. This is
What?
completely unacceptable.
For
Yeah.
group fries?
For group fries,
That's
ketchup all over
Yeah.
it.
That's
What are we doing?
bananas.
Yeah.
That is such a party foul.
I got to tell you something. This is a major reveal. I was there with them for this. Well, we all were there, but I was there when Pat discovered this. I thought the restaurant put the...
So did I.
No, that
So
was
did I.
Rob.
Wow.
That was
Because
Rob.
the other fries that they have here, they put their special sauce on top of.
And it does not look like that.
So I thought the ketchup was also applied by the restaurant.
I
No.
did not
No.
know that.
Which was a shame because these are my favorite type of French fry.
These are really
the
good
like
fries.
battered kind of fry.
Oh, yeah, they were
so
A+.
I got to tell you, the Santa
Thanks,
Mercado
Rob.
food is awesome. The other fries, whatever that sauce
good. Oh,
was.
it was like a buffalo
yeah.
ranch.
Oh, my God. Was
Yeah, that was a pretty
So
good sauce.
good.
Yeah,
and the
but
chicken fingers, excellent.
But
Great
Rob,
thing.
but
Great
Rob
chicken
Lorenzo
fingers.
should be ashamed of himself for doing that. That is a finable offense. He should have to put money in the PayPal jar.
Agreed.
And that's borderline rising to the level of going to social jail. Like, that's where we're at, Rob. Like, you can't do that.
Let's really.
It's not a personal French fry for you, sir. They were ordered for the group, and you made it a personal by bathing it in ketchup.
Also, let's talk about the distribution. Two big blobs
Yes.
on the left of the fries and just a light drizzle over the rest of them. There's a big bold patch in the middle with no ketchup on the top. The distribution is horrific. Not only did he co-opt the group fries, take it upon himself to put ketchup all over it. Does he know if his teammates like ketchup? Did he ask?
No.
I don't know.
I don't think he cared.
Selfish.
But then the actual execution of it was horrific. Two big L's.
Rob Lorenzo. A me guy.
Yeah, bad guy.
Wow.
All right, two more quick observations from yesterday.
Let's go.
The first one, Michelle.
Oh, God, here we go.
Was really excited when Roger Goodell announced the St. Louis Rams in her mind.
I thought he said St. Louis Rams. We were walking at the time, and I was watching on my phone. I go, did he just say St. Louis Rams?
He didn't?
No.
No, he
You
said
told everybody in the world that he did.
I thought he did.
Oh, my
It was
God.
a terrible job by you.
I went back and, again, reviewed the tape. He got it correct. I got it incorrect. Keep going.
And also, if anyone was concerned, Evan Cohen did, in fact, have a pen and a piece of paper and was writing down all the draft picks while wearing a random earpiece that he found. For some reason, he was, listening to the radio broadcast. Michelle said she set you up like a toddler in a restaurant where it was like, we gave you the crown and the colorful menu.
You gave him the what?
Crown.
Crayon?
Crown.
Crown. Oh, I thought you meant like the crayon to doodle. I thought you were saying crayon incorrectly.
Crayon, crown, whatever.
Well,
it's not about me.
I was listening to the broadcast and taking notes. Why is that a bad thing? Sorry, Pat.
Smalls here. What if you could enjoy the flavor of a cocktail without the alcohol? Meet RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category that delivers bold taste and a warming sensation, but with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and zero calories. So you can celebrate with friends, unwind after a long day, and wake up tomorrow feeling great. It's all the ritual of a drink without the regret. Discover RK at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, the spirit without the alcohol.
Evan Cohen here. Game day brings the excitement. Your stay should feel just as memorable. With Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA and U.S. Soccer, you're connected to a portfolio of brands designed for how you travel. Some offer complimentary breakfast, others give you room to spread out, space to stay productive, or extended stay comforts. So whether you're a traveling fan or part of the team, Marriott Bonvoy celebrates the moments that live on before and after the game. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
An epic Brewers Pirates series is coming April 24th through the 26th. Kick it off with Star Wars Night on Friday the 24th. And check out a post-game laser show presented by ESPN Milwaukee. Then on Saturday the 25th, get a Brewers Windbreaker giveaway courtesy of Courts. Wrap up the series with Family Sunday fun and kids cheer free. Plus, the first 5,000 kids take home an Abner Uribe poster. Grab a seat at Brewers.com.
Take it home this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. 300 grand is on the line, and you're at bat to win your share. Just play with your rewards card for entries, prize drawings on Thursdays. Plus, your April drawing entries all count toward another prize drawing in June. It's the Base Race Game Show. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
It's a great day for Brewers baseball, and with Brewers checking from Associated Bank, you get a powerful lineup of perks all season. Leading off is Express Entry with incredible speed. Next up, 20% off gear at the Brewers team store. Sporty stuff. And third, up to 50% off home game tickets. But if you can believe it, there's even more you can score. Because with Brewers checking, you get the strongest lineup in baseball. Only from Associated Bank. Join the crew at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers. Member FDIC.
Your local bar could be your ticket to a global stage. Michelob Ultra Soccer Shootout is giving fans the chance to win tickets to the FIFA World Cup 26 at Nomad on Brady this Saturday starting at 1 p.m. Also enjoy Michelob Ultra at Puddler's Hall, Maddie's, and New Berlin Entertainment. Your neighborhood, your shot at the world's biggest game. Play for the chance to witness history. Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 26. Enjoy responsibly. 2026 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21+. Void where prohibited.
Hey Wisconsin, it's construction season and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
I'm not Jen Latta. I'm not Gabe Neitzel. I'm Josh DiMaggio, and I'm filling in this morning on day 2 of the NFL Draft. Chewy.
Yo, bro.
How are you this morning? Did you watch the draft? Do you have any big thoughts, big takeaways? It's a unique day for Green Bay Packers fans and everybody who's ever paid attention to the Green Bay Packers. There's not often, there's no first-round pick that we get to talk about today.
I was in and out. I love the setting.
Me in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very similar to Green Bay.
Right.
I heard the number was 320,000, which is crazy. I don't think I'd want to be in the middle of it.
No.
But I was in and out. Saw the first couple picks. No big surprises there. And then I flipped it on at the right time to see Simpson.
Yes, Ty Simpson, the quarterback from Alabama, goes 13th overall to the Los Angeles Rams, a team we all view as a win-now team, a team that I think in the process of the draft, you heard all sorts of rumors about them being interested in a skill player, because what better addition to bring to what you got in Los Angeles than another skill player? Guys like Mekhi Lemon, Kenyon Sadiq were all available there, but they decided to go with a pick for the future, an oddly reminiscent pick to what happens in Green Bay year after year. We've seen it once already, obviously, with the Aaron Rodgers pick and then the Jordan Love pick. It was an interesting pick, kind of made people scratch their heads, not just people, but also their head coach, Sean McVay. Here's his reaction to being asked about the Ty Simpson pick at 13th overall.
I'll keep that between us. We'll see. He's going to compete with Stetson.
What was it about this pick? Great.
So that's the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams reacting to the 13th overall pick, Ty Simpson, a quarterback who's going to compete with Stetson Bennett in the near future. There was also reports that Sean McVay had called earlier in the day and said, "This is still your team, Matthew. We're just taking him for whenever you retire," which feels a lot like what happened back when the Green Bay Packers during COVID drafted Jordan Love. What was your reaction just on the Rams end of it, and how it compares to sort of how the Packers have done things?
I'd kind of compare it, like you said, to the Jordan Love pick.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, it just seemed like a wasted pick because you knew you weren't going to get anything out of it. And at that time, I think Packers were like top 5 in power rankings. So, I mean, it seems to be working out. But when you're a win-now team like the Rams are, I could see his frustration. And you also see that these coaches probably think they have a little more influence than they do.
Yes.
And I think that's why he was so upset. But, I mean, who knows? He might turn out to be a great player. But for right now, I mean, they probably could have used a stud player at any other. And also, it was a reach.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't think Simpson was going to go into the late 20s. And I don't remember what Jordan. Was Jordan a reach at that time?
Jordan was 26th overall in his draft. That was in 2020. So there is a little context I think is important there, because both Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love were sort of end of the first round, not in that top 15 area. And both those drafts were QB heavy drafts. This one, the only two guys you heard about, talked about in the first round were Fernando Mendoza, the kid from Indiana, and then Ty Simpson was a late addition that everyone talked about as a potential option. So it is a little bit different where if you have multiple guys going or a big fall for a guy like Ty Simpson, like if you're 30th, 31st, and you jump up and say, hey, we could get the 5th-year option on this guy, I do think it does make it a little bit different because 26 overall for Jordan Love in that draft, to me, is a total different context than 13th overall.
His question was he was from a small school.
Right, correct. And
he was from a non-Power 5, where Ty Simpson, he's playing against the best in college football. So his questions were more so.
Yeah. I believe Ty Simpson only started 15 games, though, because he was behind both Bryce Young and then also Jalen Milroe up until that point. So there is a little bit of question mark there, and now he's going to sit. And the thing that makes it interesting is, in general, I think we all now, with what we know now, both behind the Aaron Rodgers draft pick and the Jordan Love draft pick, those ended up working and being a smart idea. It ended up being beneficial to the Packers, but it steals from the now to build for your future.
Well, the other interesting dynamic here, guys, that we forget about is when the Packers took Jordan Love, there were signs of dissent from Aaron Rodgers. Like he looked like he was on the way down, and then this remotivated him. Matt Stafford's the reigning MVP of the NFL.
Right.
You know that's got to be infuriating to Sean McVay.
Did they inform Aaron that they were going to draft Love?
No.
Because I knew, because Ted probably had no intentions. He didn't think Aaron was going to be there.
Yeah.
They clearly didn't
I believe Ted said
that kind of started the rift between the two of them, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe Ted said he tried to trade back, got no biters, and then just said, well, this is the only guy we have left with a first-round grade. Goody did trade up for Jordan Love and did sort of take a little bit of a risk. It wasn't a whole lot. There was just, it certainly wasn't the same thing that's going on here. The interesting thing with Matthew Stafford has been he just won, as Brian said, had just won the MVP, but he also just signed an extension and played one of his healthiest seasons he's had in a long time. And Matthew Stafford's career is certainly coming to an end, but in a perfect world, you don't see Ty Simpson at all this year. And that's sort of by design. And in a draft where it's not as deep, it's not as loaded with stars. I mean, what was it? Pick 6, 7 before we started to see names where you're like, I'm not even sure who that guy is. Where in years previous, we're talking about superstars and guys that have big names all throughout the draft. So I'm going to pose the question basically to the audience was, did the Rams make a good move, and are they moving on to and sort of following things the way the Packers did? Because now with what I know, I don't regret the Jordan Love draft pick whatsoever. I think given the situation for the Packers, it was absolutely the right thing because Aaron Rodgers was set.
At the time, though, Josh, you seem like a guy that would fight that pick.
I was skeptical of the player, not of the pick. I didn't know a lot about Jordan Love. He had a good junior season, and then he backtracked and sort of had a down senior season. And that was where my questions came about. It was much less about the idea of it, because at that point, we had, 2 years under our belt of Aaron Rodgers doing his, I don't know if I'll be back, I'm uncertain. And I think you have to start building for the future. And then we ended up finding out, obviously, after that, with all the stories that came out, that him and Gutekunst were basically not on the same page at all at any point. The other interesting thing that I think adds a layer to what we saw from Sean McVay is Les Snead, the general manager, has a relationship with Ty Simpson's dad and was an advisor to Ty Simpson prior to the draft on whether he should enter the draft or not.
Good old-fashioned nepotism, baby. Let's go.
Which makes it all the more strange and all the more like, what do we do here?
But I thought McVay had more power there. I thought it was more like Pete Carroll, John Schneider. So when Pete Carroll was head coach of Seattle and Schneider came in, I still think Pete Carroll was calling the shots, and I kind of thought that's how it was with McVay because he won a Super Bowl, just one.
Yeah. But he's thought of as one of a top 3 head coach in the NFL right now. Like he's one of those guys who you would think would have, and he's been. The Rams have done a great job. If you remember back when Bill Belichick drafted that really old offensive tackle, him and Les Snead were together at microphones, much like we saw earlier, and they were laughing at Bill Belichick for taking a 26-year-old guy in the first round. They go, "Oh, we thought we'd have him in our second-round pick. We thought he'd be available later." He's been part of They also did a great behind the scenes where Puka Nacua is on the board. And Sean McVay is saying, we have to take this guy here. This guy is a difference maker. This can make our whole draft. This can make our franchise. So it seemed like up until recently, Sean McVay was making those decisions, which is also a mirror to how Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur do things. Because I think at times we all wish they had a better marriage and they were more aligned. But now it seems like they've taken a Green Bay approach, which I think teams would argue, which people would argue, do you want to be more like the Rams or more like the Packers? And it seems like the Rams are becoming the Packers now.
Yeah. All right, one other sidebar I got to get to.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if I can root for Mendoza.
Why?
Oh?
What did I miss? He seems like such a nice fella. He stayed at home.
Suits. Everyone's wearing suits. I mean, the 12-year-old's wearing a suit. I mean, what are we doing here, Brian? I don't want that. It just reeked of pretentiousness. I want Baker Mayfield or I want Brett Favre slurping down a beer in a flannel shirt after they get drafted. I don't need to see, okay, we got the draft and now we have to go to the wedding.
Why didn't we start here?
Huh?
Why didn't you tell me about this? I would have made this the first segment.
Are you with me?
So here's
nice
the thing.
Guy, sure.
Nice guy. I was making dinner during the first overall pick because I thought it's Fernando Mendoza. Like, I don't need to see what happens here. I was pretty sure the second pick was going to be David Bailey. So I didn't notice. You have to bring me into the loop here. Everybody at Fernando Mendoza's draft party was wearing a suit, all the men. And boys?
All the men and the women were dressed up like they were going to a wedding. Now, I didn't realize
like Easter brunch.
I didn't realize he was from Coral Gables. Now, Coral Gables is bougier than bougie.
Here we go.
And you know how I feel about bougie. Me and bougie don't
match. No. Me either. Match. Look at me. I'm wearing a flannel.
And then I didn't know he went to Yale first. I'm sorry. I can't like him.
It's Chewy. I'm with you in this sense. It's a weird fit where he's going to.
Yes.
Right? Like to draft that guy to go to Vegas, and not just Vegas. Like throw Vegas out for a second. Chew, the Raiders organization, right? Like the autumn wind is a Raider, and you've got the poster child for LinkedIn as your quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, if that was me, you're already not going to the draft where you would have to wear a suit. Yeah. That would be a reason for me not to go to the draft, not to wear a suit.
He's
Josh,
in his living room.
It's like, jeez.
Now this is going to be something, Brian D. There's a button on there. It's the top right end of the hotkeys page.
He's walking me through.
It's called Chewy is Right, and I think we have to play
Chewy was right? Holy Chewy was right.
Look, you guys remember when Joe Thomas was drafted?
Yeah, he was on a fishing boat, wasn't he?
He was on a fishing boat where they couldn't even get to it. Yes. Now, I respect that.
Yes.
That I respect.
It is interesting because you obviously want the first overall pick. You want the bro hug with Goodell. That's a thing the NFL is looking for. Now, Fernando Mendoza made the decision to stay home because of some of the health issues with his mother, which is ultimately the most respectable thing, and we think highly of him. But are they just simulating being at the draft and sort of recreating that? Or are they just a bunch of Harvard dorks?
They're a bunch of Harvard dorks. Do you think that 13-year-old wanted to he was told to put a suit on?
He's wearing, Chewy, paint the picture of the 13-year-old because the suit is something else.
Brian, did you see it early?
Yeah.
Was that? It must have been his brother or something like that.
There's two of them.
Where Mendoza, the pick, snubbed him. The kid went in to give him a little bro hug, and Mendoza went the other way. I kind of felt bad for the kid, wearing a suit, and then his brother snubbed him after telling his mother that he has to wear a suit.
They're wearing like tan seersucker suits, like straight off the J. Crew rack.
Yeah.
It's a look.
This brings up all the recent history of things that we've witnessed. When you get a look into people's homes, it's oftentimes very strange. We have the very famous, and we talked about this ad nauseum on Scalzo and Brust. Remember when Lucas Van Ness's father gave a butt tap to Frankie Komet, Cole Komet's sister, who's dating Lucas Van Ness?
Yeah. Hey, they're a close-knit family. What can I say? Reminded me of my Uncle Louie. But go back. It's got to be somewhere. Go back to when Brett was drafted, because I believe they had a camera in Irv and Vanita's house on the bayou, and I believe he's wearing a flannel. And I believe there are beers in the picture.
It's an iconic photo. He's wearing jorts shoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can think of it. He's like standing up, and he's foreground, and he's wearing those jorts.
And to your point, I remember Baker Mayfield recreated that photo in 2018 when he got drafted, right?
I want my quarterback getting in fights. That's what I want.
He wants a quarterback in jorts, a jorterback.
Yes. Like Baker Mayfield got in a scrum. That was a great takedown by the cop, too. That was just wonderful.
We're talking about, just to give context, we're talking about when he was in college and running from the police, which made you upgrade him on your draft board because that's a scrappy guy that's going to be a quarterback.
And then Brett, I believe before he shows up in Green Bay, gets arrested for getting in a fight with Ezra Tuiolo, and Deanna got arrested. That's my kind of guy. I'm sorry.
Well,
there were no cameras when I was drafted, Brian D. All there was a ticker on the bottom of the TV.
You know what you want, though, and I respect
that
it.
I was taken.
I thought about asking what your draft day was like. You were a 6th-round pick, as we know it, but it feels like you sort of just got a phone call. Did you expect to be drafted? Had you heard?
Yeah. Well, the earliest I thought was Seattle or Pittsburgh in the 4th round.
Yeah.
Obviously, that didn't happen. But you always watch the very start of it. In the back of your mind, you're like,
what if?
I guess I could be the first pick. And then it goes on and on. So back then, it was 3 days as well. They did, I think, 1 through 3. I don't know. All I know, I was on a Monday.
Wow.
I was on a Monday because there were 12 rounds back then.
Yeah.
And by that time, you're like so pissed off. So I'm sitting by the phone. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning on a Monday, and I get a call, and it was Ron. He said, "We're going to draft you." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. Who cares? I don't even want to play anymore." Because you're probably like a little baby. And then they say, and then you watch the ticker. So it was like I was 156. It was at 154, and they're like, "Hold on, the pick will come across." And ESPN was doing their programming, but at the very bottom there was a scroll, and 156 comes up with my name. And I'm
wow.
Like,
do you remember what was
on? The only
on?
thing I remember, my mother's friend who was a librarian, but she was a diehard Packers fan, she brought me over a hat that was corduroy. Because you couldn't find it anywhere. Right. And being the dork that I was, my buddies took me golfing that day.
And you wore your corduroy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's dorky. I think if you get drafted in the NFL, no matter what the hat is, you're allowed to wear it on the golf course.
But corduroy?
Corduroy's back. The kids love it.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah. You should still have that hat. You wear it now. You sell it as vintage. All right, we're way past the clock. We got to get to Jason Wilde. We'll talk about the draft day 2 coming up. And hey, guess what? The Bucs have a head coach. More next.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got eastbound 94 tightening up through the stadium interchange to about 35th Street. Remember, we do have a crash on 794 eastbound, technically southbound, as you're making your way down towards the Hone Bridge. Left lane is blocked right now with a crash. Looks like it is a car that ended up going into the median wall there. So it looks like it's just a one-car accident. Squad's on the scene to help out with that one. Northbound 41, we've got backups from Mayfair Road all the way up past Burleigh. Southbound's tightening up just a little bit heading into the Capitol Drive area. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, a slight chance for a shower, breezy with a high of 68. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 43. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
On this show, it's always football season.
I'm not overly concerned because it seems as if Green Bay's not overly concerned.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Everybody over there feels like this team was there. We got short-circuited with injuries. We have the right staff, we have the right people, and we have the right players. We just need to stay healthy, and we'll be champions.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
No matter what business you're in, as the #1 SBA lender in Wisconsin, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions.
Awarded the #1 SBA lender by the Small Business Administration of Wisconsin in 2025.
Spring has arrived in the Geneva Lakes region, and there is no better place to welcome the season than the award-winning Lake Lawn Resort. Enjoy lakeside dining at 1878 on the lake, golf for all ages and abilities at Majestic Oaks, relaxing spa experiences at the award-winning Calidora Spa, and endless recreation opportunities along the resort's 2 miles of shoreline on beautiful Delavan Lake. Plan your spring getaway today at lakelawnresort.com and come find out for yourself why everything is better at the lake.
Let's talk about Home Turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications that top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
My name is Rob, and I was seriously injured. When I think of Gruber Law Offices, I think of an honest, hard-working team who will fight to represent you. Couldn't be happier with the call that I made that day.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Ready, down, put. All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Exterior Pros. Ready to tackle your home improvement project? Exterior Pros and Baths is giving $3,000 off roofing, siding, windows, or bath remodels this month. Visit extpros.com.
We're still efforting for Jason Wilde. If we do get to him, he will be joining us on the Yuengling Hotline. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America and now officially in Wisconsin. DG Yuengling & Sons, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. While we work on getting to Jason, Chewy, what do you think? And I just posted this to the loyal listeners on the YouTube chat and the Infinity Exteriors Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll. What do you think's more likely for the Packers at 52? They stay and make a pick, or they trade back and get more picks and attack the draft that way?
I mean, I think they got probably 3 guys they're eyeballing. Just depends on how the board may play out. He doesn't want to get rid of picks, but I could see him, if one of those guys fall, trading up a spot or 2 to go and grab him. I mean, seems like the popular pick now is going to be, like you said yesterday, a rush end. Although there are a couple corners on the board that they probably like. But Goody has said, he likes how the board is played out.
Yes.
I don't really know what that means because outside of Simpson, there wasn't really a big reach.
No, I think what he meant by that is the positions they're going to be targeting, especially early, be it corner, defensive tackle, or edge. A ton of those guys didn't go. A few of the hybrid guys, a lot of offensive tackles went. Obviously, the Packers would love for there to be 5-6 quarterbacks taken at that position. But if you look at the board, some of the top remaining guys I'm seeing here, corner, safety, defensive tackle, edge, corner, linebacker, edge. So there's a lot of guys that would be available to them. I think Goody's going to get in front of the mic and say most often we like where we're at, and then maybe in the post we'll find out, they had this guy circled and he ended up going 2 picks before, because we see that stuff happen all the time. I think there's a really good chance the Packers end up trading back because, as we know, Goody always wants more picks, and he talked about wanting more and more competition at positions like linebacker and at cornerback. It does just depend on sort of how the board shakes out. I think there's a good chance they could end up trading back and getting even more picks. Goody also said they do have the ability to trade up. I think he's going to say that regardless every single time. I think trading up is the least likely of all options, but it all depends on sort of what tiers they have. It is interesting because what ends up happening for most Packers fans is you fall in love with a first-round pick, and now when we're talking in 52 and later, people don't really fall in love with there's no Cooper DeJean that's going to stick out and be the sort of guy. There's no Wisconsin Badger like a TJ Watt that people are going to sort of get all worked up about. I do think it's most likely they trade back, but staying pat and just making the pick. And I mean, he has more picks than there are rounds in the draft. So I know he loves his picks. They have 11 next year. He says he's not interested in doing anything with next year's picks, but 11 picks next year. Where are all these guys going to be playing if you add 19 guys and then you have free agency and more departures? Like I guess I don't understand what acquiring more picks would be doing for the Packers in the immediate future, a la a draft pick like Ty Simpson. Like the Packers window is now. You've talked about this ad nauseum.
Yeah.
Like let's get some players and let's get better.
But that's why I don't like the trade back. I mean, you need, especially on the defensive side of the ball, guys that can come in, not start, but contribute right away.
Yeah.
And the farther you push that back, the farther you get away from it. Because who was the GM that said 1 through 20 is good? Not a ton of superstars. And then there's the next class that's 20 to 50.
Right.
Right?
Right. I don't know what specifically, but yes, it's basically here's your stars. Those are typically go in the first round, probably in the top 15 to 20. And then you have through the second, third, and maybe a little bit into the fourth, you have guys that can be eventual starters. Some of them will be immediate, but some of them will need some time. And that's where I think the Packers just bring some competition in. As much as I think the Packers are more secure at their cornerback position than the fan base, bring some guys in to push Carrington Valentine. Someone who Carrington Valentine, when he decides to do the old lay on a tackle, that guess what? You're out. The other guy's in, and we're not putting you back in until you figure it out.
But D-tackle, I think the only way they go D-tackle there is if they don't believe that Wyatt is coming back next year.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Because Hargrave is a 1-year deal for the most part.
Yeah, it does allow them to get out after 1 year, yes.
With 11 picks next year, I think if you are bringing Wyatt back, then you could address that next year. Because there's not really a huge difference between a year, and I'm talking an early round pick, a year 1 guy and a year 2 guy.
Right.
There's not a huge leap, I believe. So they could address that next year. That's why I think they have to go corner. And I'm not as sold on – you're big on the rush end. Is that just because there's good players available there, or you think that's the position of need?
It's much less immediate need. I do think the first 4 games are going to be a little touch and go until Micah Parsons does return. But after that, Micah Parsons, and then on the other side, one of those 3 guys that they've invested in recently being Lucas Van Ness, Barron Sorrell, or Colin Oliver, I think that's fine. I'm just worried about those first 4 games and what that might look like, depending on, of course, the schedule as well. That, to me, is what worries me. And then I think the Packers are going to be moving on from Elvian. I don't think there's really any chance they give him a 5th-year option or any sort of extension, unless he comes in and has a double-digit sack season. The thing I like is just from doing my draft previews and looking at all this, I just think there's some really good players that might be worthy, or we might think of as, well, that guy was drafted in the 2nd? That should have been a first-round pick all day. And that's where I was talking about the denied Dennis Sutton from Penn State. The interesting thing is cornerback, though, is just as deep. There wasn't as many top-end guys that went. We saw the Chiefs make a cornerback pick. The other guy that everyone was talking about was Jermod McCoy from Tennessee, but he had injury problems that sort of caused his drop, and we saw something similar happen with the kid from Michigan last year, Will Johnson. So the Packers have sort of all the positions they wanted. The interesting thing is the guys left from their pre-draft visits, and as we've talked about here and everywhere else, Packers typically make 4 to 5 picks from those pre-draft visits, those top 30 visits. The guys listed here, and this is just by the consensus board, is 46 overall, Christian Miller. He's a D tackle from Georgia. Lee Hunter from Texas Tech. He's also a defensive tackle. And then we've got 2 strange ones thrown in here. We got Chris Brazal from Tennessee, a wide receiver, and A.J. Holsey, a safety out of LSU.
Let me ask you this. I'll ask both you guys. You think there's a little punt on this year a little bit? And Goody believes, okay, next year is the year. We're going to be a little cap healthier. We'll have money to spend. We have 11 picks. We're going to be – because when Parsons isn't going to – his first game back, he's not playing 70 plays. Agreed?
Yes, I do agree.
I mean, they're going to slow roll him in kind of like they did Christian Watson. You get that at all or no? The fact that they didn't sign – I mean, their biggest signing was St. Juice, which is not a big splash at all.
Chewy,
the fact that they didn't really sign any free agents.
I get where you're coming from. I don't think you can punt on a year with Jordan Love in year, 7 at this point?
It's prime.
We like to say that he's in year 3, right? He's not. He's flirting with 30 at this point, and he has no accolades. 0. He hasn't won a division championship. He won 1 playoff game, right?
Yes.
He hasn't done anything.
Well, Brian, maybe punt was the wrong word. How about all in?
I don't think the Packers ever go all in. Ever.
That's the interesting thing philosophically. I mean, a trade for Micah Parsons, 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, to me, is as all-in of a move as you can get. But it feels like whenever the Packers do all-in, it's a toe dip. It's never a cowabunga, cannonball, here we go, we're doing everything we've got. I've had, and this, maybe I'm getting a little too one-sided in this, but the decision to sort of run everything back and only replace guys who left be it on the coaching staff, starting with Matt LaFleur, and then on down to the replacement of Jonathan Gannon, Adam Senovich sticking around. To me, I felt like this was always a tread water, and if everything goes our way, we can win it. And then next year, we've got all this money to spend, we've got all this draft capital, and that's where we really push our chips into the middle and go for it. I've always felt that way. I don't know if I'm being misled in that or if I'm letting my personal thoughts of Matt LaFleur become too affected in that. But it does sort of feel like we've got Tucker Kraft coming off an ACL injury. Who knows what the year is going to be like? And we all think he's going to be back and return to form eventually. But is that going to take 10 weeks? Is it going to – he's not going to look himself?
The comparable is Hawkinson, because Hawkinson tore his around the same time, and he didn't have the year he had the year before.
Correct.
Which is natural. Not to say he's going to be terrible.
No.
But those injuries do take some time.
Yes.
I'm just saying from the standpoint of, like, you got depth issue at corner, little D-line issue, and then offensive line.
Well, right.
And you know offensive linemen are going to get hurt. Right?
Yes. There's very rarely they stay healthy. Yeah. I mean, just simply look at the additions versus subtractions. And I think we can justify, I know you have a hard time with the Rasheed Walker going away in free agency, but Romeo Doubs, they traded Dontavian Wicks. They did bring in Zaire Franklin, but when you look at it, they let more people walk than they brought in, and that inherently is going to lend itself to depth issues. It makes the issue you had last year with you ran out of depth because you suffered injuries to some major players. And now it could be even worse. There's no guarantee the Packers have a bounce-back year in terms of health.
No, it'll be a different team.
Right.
I'm just saying from the standpoint of not all in, because his philosophy is a little bit like, look, our two stars are going to take a little while to get back. Let's backfill this thing, okay? Not to say that they don't have a shot.
Right, of course.
Let's backfill it. Get this where I'm comfortable with the roster, and then next year we got 11 draft picks, good money. Let's go get 2 more free agents. Hopefully we hit on them this time. And that's their version of all in.
I'm going to put that on the Infinity Exteriors Twitter poll. Refresh your home with roofing, siding, or windows, all backed by their lifetime workmanship warranty. InfinityExteriors.com. Are the Green Bay Packers all in 2026? We'll talk about it more next. It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We got a good ride shaping up right now. We got eastbound 94, just a quick tap of the brakes through the stadium interchange to 35th, westbound from 35th to Hawley Road, northbound on 41 through the construction zone from Mayfair Road all the way up towards Burleigh. It's actually closer to Capitol Drives where it starts to let up. On the southbound side, we got backups from just before Hampton down to Capitol Drive. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, a slight chance for a shower, otherwise breezy with a high of 68. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 43. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Got your tax refund? Before it mysteriously disappears, invested in something you'll actually see every day. Your home. At Exterior Pros and Baths, turn that refund into energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath remodel. And they'll take it even further with $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during the April savings event. But don't wait, this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners, so they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
If you're responsible for how money moves through your business, you won't want to miss this. Fifth Third Bank invites business owners, CFOs, controllers, and finance leaders to join us Tuesday, April 28th at St. Kate for a special event focused on the future of automated payables, integrated receivables, and modern cash management. Hear from industry experts on the latest technology, trends, and strategies, helping businesses improve efficiency, strengthen controls, and accelerate cash flow. Reserve your spot today by emailing rsvpmilwaukee@53.com. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Progressive knows there's no one more important to your team than your pet. They're like your top draft pick.
And it looks like Chuck has selected Pepper the Corgi. Bold pick there, Deborah.
Yeah, Rich, Pepper has a high ceiling for sure, but he does have a tendency to bark at every tree.
Yeah, he brings a lot to the table, but also takes a lot off of it, especially when it's been left near the edge.
Nothing left to do now but suit him up for the dog park.
Protect your top draft pick from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates of third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms.
Okay, team. Huddle up.
Why are you dressed like a hockey player?
Because America's energy security is on thin ice. We're facing an overburdened electric grid, rising fuel costs, and severe weather. But here's your power play. Propane. It's affordable, abundant, safe. Propane is reliable energy, even when the grid isn't. Advantage Propane.
Learn more at propane.com/powerplay.
Hail damage? Siding Unlimited is here to help. We are not the storm chasers. That's important. Siding Unlimited doesn't chase storms. However, if the storm comes into our area like it just did, we're always available to help. Why is that important? Storm chasers skip town, leaving you with a roof with zero warranty. Siding Unlimited uses a roofing system that will get you a 50-year warranty on parts, pieces, and workmanship. Siding Unlimited will be there if you have a call down the road. Siding Unlimited is your local family partner on this project. We're here for you. Visit sidingunlimited.com today, but definitely stop by Siding Unlimited's open house on Saturday, April 25th from 9 to 1 p.m.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How are you feeling, big guy, about the MRI?
It's starting to hurt now. I think I have mental issues. I really do.
Well, gonna have to clip that for me.
That's just, I mean,
hold on to it.
I know. I don't think there's anything wrong. It's just I think it's something in my brain's telling me
something is wrong, buddy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Are the Green Bay Packers all in for 2026, or are they waiting till next year to make some big moves? Chewy, just refresh the audience here, and I'm looking for some responses. Feel free to call us on the Carbalist Talk and Text line. What is your thought, and what led you to this idea that 2026 is not the all-in year for the Green Bay Packers?
Just with the number of guys they let walk. Didn't really backfill anywhere through free agency. I mean, like I said, they got that St. Juice, but he's a fine player, nothing more than that. I just think, you know, they're going to compete, and I equate it to having ping pong balls and the big little drum there when it comes to winning the Super Bowl. They're going to have a handful. But just the fact that really didn't do much in free agency, don't have a ton of, was fighting to get draft picks, which he did a nice job getting rid of some guys.
Yes.
And the guys that he got rid of, it's not that they're bad. They weren't. I mean, they were all good players.
Yeah, all starting.
I believe.
All for the most part, you would say they were. They were starters.
Yeah. But I think more so was just he didn't backfill anything free agent wise as far as depth. And you don't have to go out and make big splashes, but it would have been nice to add a corner, because I think that's going to be a problem, and it's going to be a problem early.
Yeah,
because they're not going to be able to create pressure with four without Micah Parsons. They're going to have to kind of smoke and mirror in it. And at the start of the season, it's going to kind of be a hold on, right?
Right. Yeah, and we will eventually find out what the schedule actually is, and then we can set our expectations. But right now, with no opponents known, you're sort of thinking we're not going to have any Micah Parsons. Tucker Kraft is going to be likely ready and back, but who knows what you're going to get out of him. Matthew Golden's going to be in a new role. Jordan Morgan is now your starting left tackle. Sean Ryan's your starting center. There's a lot of question marks to be had there, and right now you probably think, well, if you go 2-2, you end up in a situation where then you sort of hit the ground running once the reinforcements get in, guys get more comfortable. I do think, as confident as I am in Jordan Morgan, the offensive line could be a real problem. And I've likened it to sort of the way they've constructed the offensive line, and I'm almost certain they'll make a pick here with one of the 8 they have remaining in this draft at this point. Mm-hmm. They will invest in that position. But they're sort of looking for, to use a poker term, like a runner straight. They both need Jordan Morgan to be better than we saw him against the Vikings. You need Sean Ryan to be a good center, which I think we saw in flashes. We're still unsure about. And then at right guard, you have a guy who was a rookie, Anthony Belton, that you thought played fine at times. Oh, and add to the fact, on top of that, Zach Tom had a surgery, and we have no idea what his health is going to be like or how he's going to feel.
There's a ton of those, Josh, and you can say the same for Parsons and Kraft. We think they're going to be fine, but you know what? We also thought David Bakhtiari was going to be fine. Yep. And then with Golden, gush during training camp. Well, I saw that movie.
Yep.
I saw the movie with Luke Musgrave. Now, it's with Golden, it's like, I think he's going to be good, but you can't sit there and go, oh, he's going to be great.
Right. No.
Jordan, and the same with Morgan.
Right.
We think he's going to be fine, but we don't know. So, yeah, there's a lot of those. There's a lot of question marks out there. Josh Jacobs, was great 2 years ago. We think he can get back to that, but I don't know.
I know we've had a lot of talk about Josh Jacobs on this program, especially with Jason Wilde and Gabe and I saying, is it potential that the Packers' offense is better when they aren't so focused on Josh Jacobs? Not that Josh Jacobs is a bad player, but I'm worried about an aging Josh Jacobs and what that looks like. That concerns me a lot because he's not the most explosive guy. He's not a home run hitter, and I think if you lose a couple steps, now you're looking at, right now there's Pierre Strong. Is that a name you even heard before, Chewy? Chris Brooks. Pierre Strong is a good name.
Chris Brooks is your guy.
He is, but I don't want him being a backup or a starter.
No, but the first thing that has to happen is LaFleur's got to run his camp. Like, enough trying to run the ball out of the shotgun.
For the love of God.
Yes. Because Josh Jacob likes it. You know? Just say, no, we're not doing that. It's not as effective. It's not as good. The play action off of it is nowhere near as good. Get back to doing what you do. And maybe that's a part of his, hey, we need to break this down and restart over again. Maybe that's part of it.
You've literally got opposing front seven screaming, they are running out of this to the right.
Pointing.
Yes.
Pointing.
Go right
it's
there.
It's going there.
You're going to run into Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, they're allowed to watch film. The defense is allowed to watch film. And those guys are smart. They're all as dumb as you want to make football players out to be.
Do you have
football field? They're pretty smart.
Do you have anything like that where, be it high school, college, or NFL, where you guys found a tell and you used it throughout the entirety of a game? I think back to when McGuanago was in a state championship. They found out that the defensive coordinator noticed that the fullback gave away the play it was every single snap based on how he lined up. If he was way forward, it was a run, and if he was back more on his heels, it was a pass. And they used that to their advantage to the point of, hey, he's leaned back, guess what? Go linebacker. Go blitz them because they aren't going to be able to block us. Do you have any instances like that?
Yeah. Well, I told you down in Tampa Bay and it's either 94 or 95 that Ted Thompson cracked the code of the defense of Monty Kiffin. I don't know if he was reading his lips or whatever.
Yeah.
But this was, I think, the first year of
headsets,
in the quarterback's ear. And that thing was so loud that you could hear it in the huddle.
Yeah.
And before every play, I would just hear Andy Reid, because Andy Reid was a communicator with Brett back then, would be like, hey, tell Chewy this is going to be cover 2. That helps out a lot. And it turned out. And I don't know if that was the start, because I think eventually they found out. I don't know if that was the start of coaches taking the call sheet and putting it over their mouth.
Yeah, talking like this.
I would tend to believe it was. But you know what? When you know what the defense is going to be in before the start of the play, makes all the difference in the world. And coupled with, I heard it helped our defense out, when Bill Walsh signed an autograph on the first 15. San Francisco's first 15, you know, famously.
Yes.
Most teams do that.
Yep.
And gave it to one of the servers. Well, the server was smart enough to call the Packers. We didn't know if it was a bluff or not.
Right.
And we used that call, and it turned out to be the real thing. Because if you watch the first couple plays of the game, we shut them down totally because we knew what they were running. God, I miss that league.
Do you think somebody bought it off the server? You know what I mean,
I think
Shu?
the server contacted someone and said, look, she explained, because they used to stay at the Paper Valley Inn in Appleton.
Wait, hold on.
So it was in Green Bay.
Yes.
Got it.
It was in Green Bay.
Got it. Okay. So she was just doing the organization a solid.
He signed a sheet that had the first 15 plays, the script written out, and handed it to a stranger inside of...
Yes.
And then that person who received the signature looked at it and said, you know what? My Green Bay Packers could really use this information.
You didn't know that?
I did. So I guess I don't know what I thought. I've heard you tell this story, but I thought he dropped it or somebody had come across it. Like he left it on the field as they were doing walkthroughs or in a meeting room.
Mm-mm. He flipped it over, signed the other side of it, I guess, and then she flipped it and this looks important.
I bet he put his phone number on it too. You know what I mean?
That's you think. See now, wouldn't you think
with yesterday's
this
news?
You might have thought this was a bluff.
Yes.
Right. You could see how you'd be guarded against that.
That's subterfuge
after they ran
to
the
next
first
level.
play,
right?
After they ran the first play, they were like, "We got it. This is their first 15." So then you run the risk of okay, if we totally shut them down on every play, then they're not going to continue with the first 15.
Right.
You're intentionally starting to whiff on play 3 and 5.
Let them get,
maybe let them carry the pile.
Right. Let them get a couple extra yards if you need to. That's fascinating. I guess I didn't realize that story went that way. The Green Bay Packers didn't make a pick yesterday, but teams in the division did. We'll go over those coming up next. It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
At Saturn Lounge, we know if your marketing actually worked, you would know. Your website would perform, not just exist. Your storytelling would inspire, not fall flat. Your integrated campaigns would create impact, not excuses. There'd be no refreshing dashboards, no waiting on a report to explain what happened. It's time to generate quality leads and turn them into customers. Let's make it happen with Saturn Lounge, your marketing partner for clear, measurable results. Visit us today at SaturnLounge.com. When marketing works, it shows.
Spring has arrived in the Geneva Lakes region, and there is no better place to welcome the season than the award-winning Lake Lawn Resort. Enjoy lakeside dining at 1878 on the lake, golf for all ages and abilities at Majestic Oaks, relaxing spa experiences at the award-winning Caladora Spa, and endless recreation opportunities along the resort's 2 miles of shoreline on beautiful Delavan Lake. Plan your spring getaway today at lakelawnresort.com and come find out for yourself why everything is better at the lake.
1896, Horicon Bank first opened its doors. Wisconsin wasn't even 50 years old.
We've maintained our roots over the years and yet expanded.
We empower our people to invest in the community. We give them 40 hours of volunteer time.
We're doing it with a personal touch, with a desire to say yes to our customers.
You shouldn't have to work with a bank that sends their profits to New York City or Toronto. You can keep your money here and it benefits Wisconsin.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
Hey, sports fans, the ESPN app has all of ESPN all in one place. The ESPN app is your home to thousands of live events, ESPN shows, and originals across every ESPN network in service. And now you can check if you already have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. Visit activate.espn.com to learn how to access your account or sign up, then start streaming in the ESPN app. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They're not just window and door experts. They're experts at taking care of you and your home. At Pella, they find the products that meet your needs and their experts install them. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease you into spring, it keeps you guessing. One day it's sunshine, the next it's wind, rain, or even snow. That's why your windows and doors have to handle everything in every season. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we design with that in mind. Built for durability, efficiency, and year-round comfort. And right now, we're making that comfort easier to afford. Order today and get 0% interest until 2030. Not just for a short time, no interest all the way until 2030. So you can upgrade your home now and pay over time without even paying a dime in interest. From your free in-home consultation to expert installation, Pella's local team is with you every step, helping you find the right fit for your home, your style, and your budget. Plus, with our 10-year limited warranty, you'll have peace of mind long after installation day. No interest until 2030, but only if you order by April 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 4/30/2026. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, has college football gotten a little sleazy? Where you can recruit a little? No, I'm saying from the standpoint, it used to be. That was good.
On 94.5 ESPN.
All right, he's ready to go. There we go. I'm always worried about you and putting on your headphones, and if you'll get distracted talking to your plants, maybe skimming the pool. I do want to update everybody. Jason Wilde will be joining us at 8:15. We just had a little connection problem. We weren't able to get him into the show. He will be joining us at 8:15. Craig Karmazin will be following him at around 8:30.
What, Josh? Back to the. I'm not a hurry up and wait guy. Okay, I'm a last second guy, and let me tell you why. Okay, we're going to Key West with 3 other couples. 3 of the wives have April birthdays, so we either go to Nashville or we go to Key West. I love Key West. You would love Key West because all I pack are T-shirts, shorts, and flip-flops. That's it. Maybe
it's my
shower
speed.
Once down there. Maybe shower once. Don't eat dinners. Dinner consists of pizza on the street or hot dog or something. Nothing bougie about it. But one of the wives is a nut job traveler. So she's very nervous Nelly when it comes to travel. So we were all going to go together. But the flight leaves at 1:50.
Okay.
She wants to be there at 11 o'clock. That's how nervous a flyer. I'm like, Ange, I am not going to the airport at 11 o'clock and sitting there for 2.5 hours with the fear that we miss. I show up 1:35, Josh. It's a small airport.
Yeah.
It's called Pie. It's out of St. Pete, which is probably the size of like Appleton. I don't know.
Oh, so it's like much smaller than Milwaukee, General Mitchell. Gotcha.
Much smaller. TSA to go through maybe 10 minutes. It's usually more 3 minutes. So that's how I roll. I'm the same with the show. I know when it starts. I might not know when it ends. A segment ends. But I know when the segment starts.
Sometimes. There's been a few times we've caught you walking back, doing your lumber back from the bathroom. But that's interesting to me. So recently there's been issues with the TSA not getting paid. And some of the lines at some of the major airports were hours and hours long. They were shutting down TSA pre-check. But it seems like you're at an airport that's, what is it, like 4 or 5 terminals?
I just Googled this. There are 12 gates at this airport.
Wow.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. Huge.
Why?
So,
what's Milwaukee's got to be 30?
Yeah, at least way more than that.
I think it's more than that.
They've got 4 different terminals there.
Right.
I bet there's probably 100. And I know it sounds crazy, but and Milwaukee, Chew, is super easy to get in and out of it.
Yes.
Longest really I've ever waited in TSA is like 30 minutes. And that's now, like way early in the morning.
And now the nice thing is, because we predominantly fly Southwest,
yep,
you don't have to get there for the cattle call because you have your own seat assignment.
Right.
So
it's
now
not
you can even show up later, which is great.
So basically what's happening here and where you're having an issue is you guys were all going to ride together to the airport?
Correct. Yes.
Gotcha. And how, as we know here, all the loyal listeners of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy know that you don't necessarily rule the roost. You don't make all the decisions. How has your protest gone? Because I have an idea in my head, and I think I'm right. How has your protest gone on not getting there when the other
couples?
Yeah.
See, all 3 of them are going together, and then me and Angie are like, "Don't worry."
Oh wow!
Because Angie travels
not
a ton, but enough
for work.
You know, like Wednesday. Wednesday she had to go to Charlotte. She had a 5:30 flight. She got to the airport at about 5.
Yeah. So
perfect.
Whenever it comes to group travel, I have a bachelor party coming up, which is a little different, but we went down to New Orleans and we were with a bunch of other people, some siblings, couples. I'm a big proponent of everyone do your own thing. And if we are going to do a few things together, we do one a day. Here's this, but if you'd like to join me as we do X, Y, and Z, you're more than welcome. This is just our plan. Because I think when you kowtow or you try and make everyone happy and do everything together, you end up in issues. And I think you guys are setting off on the right foot here. We'll do us.
But there's a little massaging to do when we get there.
Oh, see, I'm not
a little bit of the, aren't you guys cool? You can show up a half hour before the flight. Ooh.
Yeah.
But one thing I don't, because you know what, Josh? There's 2 things I don't worry about when traveling. Because I'm a laid back guy. You missed the flight, who gives a crap? And in packing, if you forget something,
just buy it.
Go buy it.
Yes, yeah. Now, I think we share in common, when it comes to the massaging and the making sure everyone's happy, I don't think you nor I are the ones doing it. That is left up to our significant others.
Yes. Yeah.
Joshy's going to be at the airport Chili's tying one on.
Right. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm on vacation. If I want to sit here and have 3 more beers, or if I want to go somewhere else, you guys can talk it. I'm not going to be offended if I get left here, or if you guys go somewhere else, or if you guys follow. Doesn't matter to me.
No, because we'll show up at the airport and it'll take 1 beer and they forget about the whole thing.
Right. Yeah, of course.
But there is that, oh, you guys are cool.
Yeah, you'll get judged. You guys are the big travelers. You guys are, jet setting around. Yeah, it's all understood. Alrighty, the Bucks have a new head coach. Talk about it next. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Relatively quiet. It's a typical ride. We got westbound 94 tightening up just a bit west of 27th Street to Holly Road. Eastbound's a little slow from Holly Road all the way to 35th. Northbound on 41 backing up just before Mayfair Road up to Burleigh. The southbound side slowing from Silver Spring down to Capitol Drive. And a little bit of a heavy ride westbound 894 right from 35th Street to about 51st, right past Loomis. Buying a home? Apply for a stress-free mortgage from Great Midwest Bank and experience your state of tranquility. Visit greatmidwestbank.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, a slight chance for a shower, otherwise breezy with a high of 68. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 43. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Got your tax refund? Before it mysteriously disappears, invested in something you'll actually see every day. Your home. At Exterior Pros and Baths, turn that refund into energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath remodel. And they'll take it even further with $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during the April savings event. But don't wait, this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Hey, Tom, I just really can't get my kids off their phones lately. What's your secret, man?
I told you last time, go to PrecisionSportsOnline.com and buy a hoop. And while you're there, include their court line painting. You'll thank me later. PrecisionSportsOnline.com. That's PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, the Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. After your round, stop in the clubhouse for food and drinks. Call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Shoot. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
This day filled with a lot of news. And one thing came out that I guess I wasn't really expecting. I anticipated this to drag on for a little bit, especially knowing that a guy like Haslam's involved. We all saw and heard what happened with the Cleveland Browns and making head coaching candidates fill out write essays. The Milwaukee Bucks, they brought in Taylor Jenkins. He was an assistant for the Bucks in 18-19. He is from the Mike Budenholzer tree. Which is a little bit interesting. He most recently was the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, where he was fired earlier this season. But the Bucks have their new guy, and I think, as it always does, everything goes back to Giannis. And was Giannis involved? Did this hiring come at the behest of Giannis? Was Giannis filled in on it? Chewy, what was your reaction to seeing Taylor Jenkins, a former Bucks assistant under Mike Budenholzer, named the head coach this early in the process?
I think he can do both. I think that's why they hired him, a Giannis team and a non-Giannis team. Why did he get fired? Obviously wins and losses, but
yes. There's a lot of context that is involved with Taylor Jenkins' time in Memphis. He did take them to the playoffs 3 times. There is rumors and discussion of Ja Morant, the one-time superstar for the Memphis Grizzlies, who's sort of fallen out of favor. Those two didn't really align on things, and I think that ultimately led to his firing. Now, you could make a case, and I think some Bucks fans have already started to do this, that Ja Morant and Taylor Jenkins not aligning might be a good thing when it comes to the sign of a head coach, because as we know, Ja Morant has all sorts of stuff going on off the court that has bled onto the court, affected his play. He's not been around. He's been injured and not on the court. So I think there's a case to be made that, things just didn't work there. It's a franchise problem. And you believe in the guys in the front office and the talent that the Bucks have, that Taylor Jenkins can end up turning it around. I do want to go to some audio here. Everybody's favorite reporter, Shams Charania, was on NBA Live yesterday, and he gave his input. He gave his input into how Giannis factored into the Taylor Jenkins hiring. Sorry, we don't have that audio right now. We're still efforting to get it.
So what did Shams say?
Shams basically said
he was not.
Shams said, amongst other things, that he believes that there was. All right, we got the audio, so I don't have to tell you here. Here's Shams Charania.
Look, I'm not aware of any involvement from Giannis in this search process. This was something that the Bucks genuinely led, feeling like Taylor Jenkins was their guy. This was the best coach under any circumstance. He has shown that throughout his coaching career. We know the Bucks have hard decisions to make across this offseason with their veteran players, and that starts with a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo. They had conversations at the deadline about him, and my understanding is that there's been zero communication between these two sides since the deadline as far as Giannis and the organization's top brass. But this day and moving forward is really a dawn of a new era in Milwaukee as far as culture in bringing in Taylor Jenkins.
To add even more context to this, we saw earlier this week, and we can't confirm it actually took place earlier this week, but there was a picture on Giannis's Instagram story, and it looked like he was in the Trade Hotel, and he was taking a picture of the Deer District saying this place should be loaded right now, obviously meaning the Bucks should be in the playoffs, fans should be out there rooting on a playoff team. So it's led some people to wonder, was Giannis involved in this whole process? Did he give his blessing? Was this one of the guys he picked to be the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks? How do you think Giannis should have factored into this, if at all, in the decision for a new head coach?
I mean, they should have informed him. If when it comes to being a part, I don't think he should be. You know, my question is, will this add to the riff? You know, and I said it, I think last week or the week before. Giannis doesn't have the same power in Milwaukee that he used to have. He just doesn't. Now, if he does sign the Supermax or agree in principle to the Supermax, he'll get a lot of that power back.
Yep.
But I think the Bucks are handling it the right way. They're like, until you tell us that you're going to be here, we're not going to include you in these decisions. We'll let you know with the hopes that you stick around, but we have to move forward as an organization. I'm blown away, just constantly blown away on how the NBA just doesn't have the same amount of good or great coaches that the NFL has. Just don't. There's so much turnover.
I also wonder how much impact coaches have in the NBA because it's such a player-driven league and so free-flowing and player-dominant. Like, outside of if you have Phil Jackson or Greg Popovich or Eric Spoelstra or Steve Kerr.
Right.
Like, how much – but even those guys, like, is Steve Kerr really setting up Steph Curry that much to be Steph Curry? I don't know.
But Brian, let me just read off. Because if you make it, I'm not saying win it, make it to the Super Bowl in the NFL, you've got to be at least a good coach. Maybe fringes of greatness.
No doubt.
So you got McDonald, who's been there. You got Shanahan, who's been there. You got McVay, who's been there. You got both Harbaughs, who have been there. You have Andy Reid, who's been there. You have Sean Payton, who's been there. You know, and I could keep going and going and going. You can't really say the same for the NBA, can you?
No, and I think the reason why, Chew, is every one of those guys you just listed is like a schematic genius in some way, right? Yeah. Either offensively or defensively. Football is such a game where you can out-scheme and out-plan and out-prepare somebody and set your team up to succeed, right? Basketball, all the guys I just read off, like Phil Jackson, Popovich, Steve Kerr, like... Did they set up certain offenses and certain systems? Absolutely. But when I think about those guys, I think about ego management, right? Like that is
managing a roster.
Yeah, that's so much more of the job in the NBA, it feels like. The other thing that pops to mind for me with this whole Giannis saga right now in head coaching is LeBron in 2010 was in a very similar position, right? Playoff shortcomings, might want to go elsewhere, upset with the place he started his career. The Cavaliers fired their head coach in May and brought in Byron Scott, a guy they thought would placate LeBron, and he still left. Right. So and I bet LeBron probably signed off on that process with Dan Gilbert and still said, Miami sounds cool. So if Giannis was involved, very well could have been the case. Very well could have said, this is the guy I want. He very well still could go elsewhere.
Yeah, and that's what makes it all the more interesting is I don't think Taylor Jenkins is going to be the reason Giannis would end up signing any sort of supermax and hopefully finishing his career here. But I do think to a degree you would want to have the conversation because if it's somebody who he says absolutely not, then you have some interesting, not that he gets to make the decision, but I think you have to keep playing this out to a degree where we want Giannis here, and we're going to do what we can within reason to keep Giannis here.
Let me ask you guys this, though. If he does agree to the Supermax, is he doing it just for the money?
No, I don't think so. I think obviously the money is a great thing. But we've seen him make so many investments elsewhere. He's not going to be running out of, and there's never too much money. You'll hear people say that all the time. But I don't think it's strictly a money decision. I do think there's a potential for a sign and trade type of situation, but that would carry on into the season and could bring us into a whole nother. Do you think it could be that?
I just think at this point in time, and you guys, tell me I'm crazy, but if he even does sign the Supermax, they're still 3 years away.
Yeah.
From getting there.
I don't think
Giannis at 35, 36.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Shu. I don't think the money matters one bit to him at this point. I think it's all about legacy and competition and winning, right? Like he can't be a guy that won one championship and be considered one of the all-time greats like he wants to be. And this is crazy for you and me and Joshy and all of our fans to say. $30 million, like if he makes, $280 versus $250, it's $20 to you and me. You know what I mean? And it's $30 million, but to him, it's more about the legacy.
Yeah, it's certainly something you're thinking about as you're making these decisions. But I think to him, another championship, another 2 championships would be worth more than $30 million. All right, we missed him in the first hour. We'll talk to him coming up next. Jason Wilde will be joining us on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94, we've got some backups just west of 27th Street all the way to Hawley Road. The eastbound side also slowing down from Hawley Road to about 35th Street. Northbound on 41, a little heavy through the construction zone from Mayfair Road all the way to Burleigh. The southbound side's backed up from Hampton down to Capitol Drive. Overall, the rest of the system is nice and quiet. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, a slight chance for a shower, otherwise breezy with a high of 68. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 43. For the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling, trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And while buying a home is a big deal, it certainly doesn't have to be and shouldn't be a stressful experience. At Great Midwest Bank, we combine competitive rates, fast pre-approvals, and honest advice from knowledgeable loan officers to help you every step of the way through your home buying or building journey. For 90 years, our customers have been part of the GMB family. Experience a state of tranquility at GreatMidwestBank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Hey, better. Swing into Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee for the $300,000 Big League Series. Just play with your rewards card over 3 months to earn entries. Here's the lineup. Leading off April, on deck May, in the hole June. All monthly entries you earn will roll into drawings on Friday, June 26th, where you could win cash, free play, or one of 3 new Toyota vehicles. It's the $300,000 Big League Series, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
How are things at Kessler's Greenfield, Kelly?
Fantastic. I heard you have an idea for springtime.
I love spring.
I have a big collection of new life to show you.
New life is a spring thing.
Show us. I call it crosses and clovers.
These are amazing.
Well done, Kelly.
These are stunningly unique.
Kelly, the surface of this 4-leaf clover is fantastic. What's it made of?
Sarah, the surface of that lucky 4-leaf clover is made of crushed black diamonds.
Wow. I'm buying this one. How much?
$185. In yellow gold vermeil, it's just $270. This cross, $90.
And these initials pendants?
These are $60.
Clovers, crosses, and personalized pendants.
And a leprechaun that says they're magically delicious.
Sarah, that's a breakfast cereal.
Kelly, you've done well.
Extremely well.
Extremely very well. Happy springtime, everyone.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Ready, down, put. All Packers, all the time.
He was a field tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Exterior Pros. Ready to tackle your home improvement project? Exterior Pros and Baths is giving $3,000 off roofing, siding, windows, or bath remodels this month. Visit extpros.com.
Jason Wilde is joining us right now on the Yuengling Guest Hotline. Yuengling, now officially in Wisconsin, family owned and operated for 6 generations. DG Yuengling and Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. Good morning, Jason. I'm glad to have you. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. How are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. We've been talking all about the first round of the draft. What were your big takeaways from a Packers list first round of the NFL draft?
Yeah, a draft unlike any other for me because even in the years where they didn't make a first-round pick because they traded back and took Jordy in 2008 and took Kevin King in 2017, at least there was something, right? At least they were supposed to pick, and then they didn't. So, yeah, it was very strange. I thought it was really interesting that Goody, when I asked them about it, basically said, no, they didn't even think about picking up the phone. They knew it was going to be too expensive to go up into the first round, so they never even made an effort to do so. And there were a lot of trades last night. So I thought that was worth noting. I also thought it was interesting that, nobody that they thought might get to them has gone yet, which means that while it was a kind of a topsy-turvy, trade-filled draft and first round in which there were lots of teams that, took guys that might have actually lasted another 15 or 20 picks. I think that he feels pretty good about staying at 52 and picking when it's their turn.
Jason, what'd you think of the divisional picks? Nothing really sexy, I think. A D tackle, OT, and safety. Pretty safe picks, but nothing, not like a receiver or a running back or a cornerback that's really going to be that big of a threat.
Tight end, yeah.
Pretty safe.
Safe but smart is because that's obviously one of the things I was paying attention to, along with, how the number 20 pick ended up being used ultimately by the Philadelphia Eagles on more competition at their wide receiver spot. But yeah, my thought was, look, the Lions needed a tackle, right? They moved on from Taylor Decker. He was getting old anyway. They were talking about moving Penei Sewell to left tackle. Now they got this kid from Clemson who can step in and potentially start right away for them. I look at what the Vikings have kind of endured. They fire their GM. They had to cut guys based on salary cap issues. Now they get a defensive lineman, and certainly I'm sure Brian Flores is happy about that. And the Bears, I obviously saw the Oregon safety a fair amount. He's at Purdue before he went to Oregon too. And I thought they needed that, right? They kind of, I don't want to say they cleaned house in the secondary, but despite all their takeaways, they knew that they had a weakness there. And so they did a smart thing. But, in defense of Goody, I liked his line, because somebody said, the teams in your division got better today. And he said, yeah, well, we got better too, but we got better a year earlier. And I thought that was a pretty fair response from him.
Jason Wilde joining us on the Yingling guest hotline. The Packers are slated to make 2 picks today, number 52 and number 84 overall. Do you think they end up making 2 picks, more than 2 picks, or trading back and making even less than 2?
I don't think it's so. I love you in this role, Joshy. It's just such a breath of fresh air. Gabe and I. By the way, you could have told me that Gabe was going to be on in the afternoon, because that I did not see coming after I questioned his work ethic. If people did not hear that, by the way, that was really fun. Like we put Kyle in a tough spot as the two of us were working out our differences, but it was really fun. So we had a good conversation yesterday afternoon. But I think they'll make 2 picks today. Now, do I think that they will make those 2 picks at exactly the picks that they're scheduled to make them? No, I don't think that. I think that Goody's probably going to, if there's a specific guy he wants at 52, he may have to go up to get him. And if his board holds the way he thinks it could, he may have some options at 52, and if somebody else wants to come up, he may be able to accrue an extra pick tomorrow by moving back a little bit. But I do think they'll come out of tonight with 2 players. I don't think they're going to, after not having a first, I don't think they're going to trade back to accumulate so many picks that they don't have a second or they don't have a third. I think they'll come out with 2 players. But again, I went into this fully expecting him to trade back multiple times to get to double-digit picks. And as of now, he's got a total of 8, 2 tonight, 6 tomorrow. I will be surprised if he doesn't end up making a couple trades to add picks.
What's the biggest position of need, Jason? Where does he have what position does he have to draft that has to play this year?
Yeah, so I can't remember. I talked to a lot of people yesterday, including Gabe twice. But I think there's 3 positions where they can't go wrong. They could certainly go wrong by picking the wrong player that plays that position. I think it was Gabe that said that when I wasn't teasing him. But I think corner, I think offensive line, and I think defensive line. If they take 2 guys of those 3 positions, I think that they will have helped their most pressing need positions. But again, like if this was kind of the way it was with you guys, Chew, in your heyday. Like when Ron was drafting, Ken Rutgers put him in a spot where he needed a left tackle, and while John Michaels was a very nice guy, and I'm sure is a very good doctor now, I'm Facebook friends with him. I saw it was his birthday the other day. Like he did not play at the level of a first-round pick, right? And they ended up having to draft another one the next year in Ross Verba. But more often than not, during your, the bulk of your career after you'd established yourself, Ron wasn't really drafting for, like, this guy's got to come in and start day one. I guess Craig Newsome was kind of, right?
Yeah.
But now I look at the Packers, and I don't love their offensive line. I don't love their cornerback depth, but I don't think they have to pick a guy that absolutely, positively, no doubt, has to walk in and start day one with either of their picks tonight.
Jason, yesterday the Los Angeles Rams drafted Ty Simpson 13th overall. Sean McVay had sort of a bizarre reaction when asked about that pick and saying it's Matthew Stafford's team, but it's hard to not compare it to sort of the way the Green Bay Packers have done things with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love both being drafted with the quarterback there. What was your thoughts on that pick at 13 and sort of how that has been, the level of player that Ty Simpson, not that I'm expecting you to give a breakdown of Ty Simpson, but it does have a sort of synergy to what the Packers have been known to do.
Yeah, I know a lot more about his uncle Homer than I do about Ty's game, but I would say this. I have found it downright obnoxious, and you've heard me say this before. This idea that this team X should do it the Packers way at quarterback. and draft a guy and then let him sit and develop. Yeah, that's a great idea. But you have to have a Pro Football Hall of Fame caliber quarterback to do it with, right? I mean, the Chiefs did it with Mahomes for almost a full year, right? I think they had him start the last game of the season. But Alex Smith, a former number 1 overall pick, not a Hall of Famer, but they had a guy that was pretty good. But most often, you're drafting a quarterback because the one you currently have stinks, and your team stinks. And so nobody's been able to do it other than, obviously, Ted and then Goody, and that's because they had Hall of Famers in place. Well, the Rams have a Hall of Famer in place, right? Matthew Stafford, after winning a Super Bowl, is now going to be a Hall of Famer. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now you're able to do it. Now, I don't know if Matthew Stafford has 3 years left in him. I'm pretty sure he doesn't, right? So maybe Simpson's able to sit for 1 year. Maybe he's able to recede into the bush like Homer does in that GIF for 2 years. But I'm skeptical. And the other part of this is, one thing that Favre and Rodgers were able to do after their eventual replacements were selected was stay healthy, right? Rodgers didn't miss time in 19, 20, or 20, 21, and 22, other than like the end of that Philly game. And Favre didn't miss time in 05, 06, 07, other than that Dallas game. We only got glimpses. The way this goes sideways for the Rams is if Stafford gets hurt this year. And then this guy's got to play right away. And I agree with you. I don't have a full book on him, but I don't think what I saw from him when I did see him play, that Ty Simpson is ready to be a starter early. Like, if something bad happens to Stafford early in the year, I think this could be a really difficult year for a young quarterback.
So sticking with quarterbacks, Jason, the Packers have not, as of late, been very good at drafting them. They're good at, they've proven that they're good at trading for one. But with the 6th-round pick in your Goody, would you rather draft a quarterback or take that 6th-round pick and trade for Levis or Anthony Richardson?
Look, I am, and I feel like I'm a man on an island here because, everybody wants to get somebody else to be the backup quarterback, right? Like it was, first it was the discussion of, whether or not they were going to trade for Richardson. Then there was, again, I just never saw this, but I saw people talking about Kirk Cousins. They were never paying a guy $10 million to be the backup. They just weren't.
You like that?
Indeed. Boy, it's almost as if Brian D. just has not missed a step. He's management now, but like his abilities on the board he learned well during the good old days of green and gold today.
If you can long snap, Jason, hey, it only helps.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And the good news is he's better at running the board than you are at long snapping, from what I recall.
Well, definitely at being the emergency quarterback, Jason. I'll give you that.
So we've talked about Richardson at one point. There were people talking about Cousins. Then the new narrative is though they're definitely going to draft a quarterback probably tomorrow. Again, I'm not going to go out on that creaky limb. I don't think it's a foregone. They may, if the right guy is there, but I'm sorry, I am skeptical that they want someone other than Desmond Ridder. I think they signed Desmond Ridder last year and then threw Clayton Tune to the Wolves for a reason. Like they were setting the stage for him to have a full off season with the team. He's been in a similar offense in Atlanta when he was with Arthur Smith. Like I think it made perfect sense for them to set the stage for him to be their new Malik Willis reclamation project. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm sorry, I don't see them giving up a pick. If Will Levis or Anthony Richardson gets cut, I think then they probably would be among the teams that would put a waiver claim in. But other than that, I will be surprised if they trade away a pick for somebody else's cast-off quarterback.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for finding your new time. We look forward to listening to you on Wilde and Tausch.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Was it an endorsement or it didn't feel like an endorsement, Brian D?
Of who?
Or is it just
Joshy
strange?
or me?
Well, the fact that Jason was laughing at the end of the segment,
I think he's just
it's
happy.
Like Joshy came out in a Speedo and Jason just got a little bit of the chuckles.
What do you think the YouTube views would look like if Joshy did the show in a
Not
Speedo?
good.
You don't think so?
I would. I'd even pay for that.
$5.
Yeah, well, I was going to say $3.
Yeah, it's just kind of money we spend in here. We know you don't have usage of your credit cards or anything, so I don't know how I'd even get that money. All righty. That was Jason Wilde. You can listen to him on Wilde and Tausch directly following us. You can also hear him on our draft coverage that we'll have the next 2 days, starting at 6 p.m. tonight, where you can listen to Homer and Alex Strofe. And then tomorrow, it's me, Strofe, and the young boy Will, taking you home for the final 4 rounds of the NFL draft. Coming up next, we got our CEO, Craig Karmazin. I know Chewy's going to give him the business. More next.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got delays westbound 94, basically from 35th Street all the way past Holly Road. Eastbound's just a little bit slow right through the stadium interchange to 35th Street. Northbound on 41, backups from Mayfair Road all the way up past Burleigh, and that's about it. Even the southbound 41 delays have eased up nicely. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, a slight chance for a shower, otherwise breezy with a high of 68. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 43. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
We have standards in Wisconsin. Cheese should squeak. Sports and tailgating go hand in hand with brats aplenty. And beef is a delicacy where each bite makes you close your eyes for a second. For 50 years, Bunzel's has been hand-selecting the finest beef, making homemade specialty sausages, and crafting award-winning jerky right here at home. Because Wisconsin is still cattle country, quality isn't optional. It's expected. And after 5 decades, Bunzel's still delivers. Stop in today at 90th and Burleigh or at bunzels.com.
Planning a high-level event shouldn't feel overwhelming. I'm Tiara Gomez, founder of Events by Design. For over 25 years, we've helped companies turn complex, high-pressure events into seamless, unforgettable experiences. When trying to engage your team and pull off something meaningful, the details matter. From concept to execution, we design every event so it reflects your vision and delivers real impact. No missed moments, just refined experiences people will remember. Let's start designing today. Search online, Events by Design.
Your brand doesn't need more square footage.
It needs more wow.
When you work with Captivate Exhibits, trade show booths become magnets. Lobbies become living stories. Break rooms become culture builders.
Captivate creates experiences people don't just see, they feel.
For more than 30 years, their award-winning team has transformed big ideas into bold brand moments that command attention and drive results.
Stop blending in.
Start captivating.
Visit CaptivateExhibits.com.
An epic Brewers Pirates series is coming April 24th through the 26th. Kick it off with Star Wars Night on Friday the 24th. And check out a post-game laser show presented by ESPN Milwaukee. Then on Saturday the 25th, get a Brewers Windbreaker giveaway courtesy of Courts. Wrap up the series with Family Sunday fun and kids cheer free. Plus, the first 5,000 kids take home an Abner Uribe poster. Grab a seat at Brewers.com.
Your local bar could be your ticket to a global stage. Michelob Ultra Soccer Shootout is giving fans the chance to win tickets to the FIFA World Cup 26 at Nomad on Brady this Saturday starting at 1 p.m. Also enjoy Michelob Ultra at Puddler's Hall, Maddie's, and New Berlin Entertainment. Your neighborhood, your shot at the world's biggest game. Play for the chance to witness history. Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 26. Enjoy responsibly. 2026 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 plus. Void where prohibited.
Remember how you felt when you were 25? Your morning workouts were a breeze. You had a drive that kicked in way before your first cup of coffee. Does it feel like you're losing your edge? You know, it might not be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Mentality, we'll get to the bottom of what's really going on and build a personalized plan using testosterone replacement and peptide therapies to help restore your energy, focus, and drive. Get back to being the guy you used to be. Book your appointment with Mentality at lowtusa.com. Again, that's lowtusa.com.
It's Friday, and that means it's time to check in with GKB President Craig Karmazin.
Has any market been as consistent where they only have one team than Wisconsin? We know Chicago hasn't been.
No.
Fridays with Mo.
Yeah, but until you win a championship, you can't really say that. And they've had one champion.
Chewy, we're going to just create an AI. The AI Chewy can just bring up championship. We don't even need Chewy.
They've had one championship.
What, it's going to be put like a hologram over there?
Yeah. Craig Karmazin on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Saturn Lounge, your partner for marketing strategy, creative content, and winning campaigns. From websites to video and everything marketing, visit SaturnLounge.com to tell the world your story.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's
Our chats with Craig Karmazin are brought to you by Saturn Lounge, your partner for marketing strategy and creative content. Good morning, Craig. How are you?
Joshy in the big seat.
Driving the bus.
Chewy, has this happened before, Joshy in this seat?
One time,
yeah.
right?
It happened one time before.
One time.
Yeah.
I offered, Craig. I offered, but I got kind of laughed at.
What do you mean?
I think I'd be a hell of a bus
As
driver.
lead host.
Yeah, I think Chewy could drive the bus.
I think he could too. It's just we have an issue sometimes where Chewy likes to wander off. He likes to talk to his plants, skim the pool. That I would be just sitting here waiting for him to bring us in and out of segments, which could be an issue.
Josh, there was always the threat of me driving the bus probably about 15, 20 years ago when my co-host would show up
Yeah.
at 10:02.
That was questionable.
So I had to be prepared.
Yeah, but that was like, I was like Coach Norman Dale in Hoosiers, and he was like Shooter. Like, I like would tell the ref to throw me out of the game.
Yes.
Just so Chewy would have to run, to drive the bus.
You're right.
Like that's I wasn't really showing up late for the show, especially when it was starting at 8 a.m. on Sunday and not 10 a.m. I wasn't unintentionally showing up late. I was doing it, Chewy, just to develop you as a host and look at what you've become today.
Yeah. Look at
The one thing about Craig, he's a much better dresser during the week than on Sundays. I would seriously have to question some of the outfits. Am I right, Craig?
Yeah, I'm not a good dresser anytime. I use ChatGPT. Other people dress me. I'm a terrible dresser all the time, but I'm worse. If it's possible, I'm actually worse on the weekends. That's a fair point.
The last time you were left to your own devices, you showed up in women's Rams sweatpants.
Yes,
Is that correct?
That'll happen. That'll happen. That will happen. So, yes, that is the case. Chewy, by the way, I feel like you've driven.
Yeah.
Have you ever driven like buses or RVs? Like, I feel like that would be like a potential like thing you'd be into.
CDL?
Is like like getting a CDL. Like, Chewy, do you have a CDL?
I can say this. I've driven motorcycles. I don't have a motorcycle license. And I've driven heavy equipment, and I don't have a CDL. But I'm more than capable.
I don't think we were looking for you admitting to crimes.
Craig, preparing myself for the robot revolution, when you're going to need a guy like me.
I don't know. Wait, did you say the robot revolution?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You'll need me.
I think
you'll need me.
Yeah, I think you'd be, again, I don't know why I keep making Chewy into. Now I have you as the character in Armageddon, who's like the dad of the kid who's like the drunk guy who's like, I'm still here, President. And like you go in and like take him out. And Independence Day is now a holiday celebrated across the whole world and not just in America.
I feel like we've seen Chewy sort of go through an identity crisis with the advent of AI and automation, where he's investing in it. And he wants to make money off of it, but he's trying to figure out how exactly he figures into a future where a guy.
He does it with everything. like he did that with weed. He does that like he makes sure to profit from it. Whether he doesn't need to like it. He's just going to make sure he profits from it.
He might be adding to his own obsolescence. Craig, the Bucks hired a new head coach, Taylor Jenkins. What are your thoughts?
It's exciting. I think it was such a move that I feel like was like difficult to criticize in any way, because he was He's been successful as a head coach in the G League. Then he was an assistant with Coach Bud for years and years in Atlanta, and then with the Bucks. So he has familiarity with Milwaukee. He had been here around this team. I know there's not a lot of the same players that are still left, but certainly at least one of them that matters a lot. And then he went out to Memphis and took over a team that no one thought very much of and turned them into a winning team. And even the year he got fired, had them playing, I think most people believe, above their heads. And there were some weird things going on at the time with their offensive coordinator and how many pick and rolls they were going to run and certain players not liking what they were doing, and they decided to move on from him. But I don't think anyone in the league ultimately thought the Grizzlies were better for moving on for Taylor Jenkins. So he's been a really successful head coach. He's been able to be around teams that are established and ready to win. He's been around rebuilding teams. He's kind of done it all. And so it seemed just like a really solid, strong choice.
Craig, why are there so few good coaches in the NBA, though? And I was asking these guys earlier, if you went through every NFL team, I think it's 13 of them, 13 of the coaches have been to a Super Bowl. In order to get to a Super Bowl, you got to be a pretty damn good coach. Why aren't there more good coaches in the NBA?
There's so many great coaches in the league. I think what you have is a league where it is more dominated by the top players and the top teams. So I don't think you're going to take you're not going to take a under 500 team and beat somebody because you have a great coach. But there's incredible coaches in the league. I mean, there's great coaches everywhere. There's great assistant coaches. There's great head coaches. There's tons of great coaches. The NFL I always thought was weird because so many of the Super Bowl championship coaches weren't coaching. They were all on TV for a while, right? Like at one point, I think there were only four head coaches in the NFL who'd won a championship, and the rest were on TV.
All right. I guess you'd know better than me.
But,
and hold on, I wanted to ask you this, and you might know it, you might not. Was Giannis involved in the decision to hire him?
It's so funny. I walked in this morning. No, Chewy, you asked the right question. Yes. I walked in, Chewy, to the studio, and the first thing I said is, Josh, I know you'll probably ask. I have no idea. I haven't talked to anyone. I don't know if Giannis was involved in the decision, in the conversations, in anything. So I know that. It's been reported that he and even Chris Middleton were involved in past coaching discussions before people were hired. I've never heard necessarily what his on-the-record decision-making might have been, and everyone is making note of the fact that he posted that night, an Instagram story saying we should be celebrating in the Deer District right now. That was right around the stadium. So I do not know that answer.
Do you think that annoys people, though? And I'm not saying everyone, but it's certainly, it's annoying to me.
What's annoying?
It's annoying from me from the standpoint of, dude, your team isn't even close. You can't even make the playoffs. So why do you even make a statement like that?
Like what?
We should be celebrating.
Oh,
no, you shouldn't.
No, I mean, yes. I mean, that's what fans are thinking. Like all of us, every one of us, Chewy, as you're watching the playoffs every night, like last night when you were staying up watching that Timberwolves Nuggets game and watching Jokic struggle defensively and Aaron Gordon's out and, even without Ann Edwards at full strength, the T-Wolves were going up 2-1. What were you thinking while you were watching that game, Chewy?
I wonder who the Bears took with the 23rd pick.
Yeah.
But, Craig, I can guarantee you the Las Vegas Raider fans aren't delusional enough to sit there and go, oh, we got Mendoza, we're going to the Super Bowl this year. Not how it works.
Bucks fans watching the playoffs after 9 years of being in the postseason are thinking we should be there right now. And that was Giannis saying, I'm there with you. I care the way you care. I'm connected to this community. I'm connected to Bucks fans. And so Bucks fans universally love that and weren't like, oh, yeah, we were 32-50. We should be celebrating.
Do you agree with that?
I didn't take it the way you're taking it, Chewy. I took it as, I wish I was playing. I wish this team was in the playoffs. I wish the season hadn't gone the way. I didn't think he was pointing fingers at the organization or anyone else in this.
I don't know. I can't listen to anything he says.
Here's the thing.
Until he makes a decision on the Supermax. Because you know what? Everyone thinks he's leaving, so I really don't care what you say. I don't.
See, that's what I was going to get to.
In order to say something like that, you would think he's going to come back.
Is this bringing you back to Brett? Is this bringing you back to Brett a little bit? Are you having some thoughts about around the Brett time where it was like, hey, Brett, like stop talking about Greg Jennings' contract or stop talking about this or that.
Yes.
Like what's happening with you? Was it Greg Jennings or who was it at the time? Was it someone before Greg Jennings?
Was it Javon Walker? No,
I don't know. It was somebody where I remember, Chewy, you were like, what's Favre doing talking about other people's contracts when we don't even know if he's going to be back yet. So I feel like this is bringing you back to some Brett stuff.
You're probably right.
I think that and Rodgers, too. I think you're viewing it sort of through a similar prism where all you want to know is, are you coming back? Are you going to be a member of the Milwaukee Bucks? And he's talking about everything other than that.
Yeah.
Craig Karmazin joining us on behalf of our friends at the Saturn Lounge. Craig, do you have any big takeaways from the first round of the NFL draft? We did see the Rams, 13th overall, take Ty Simpson with the quarterback a la the Green Bay Packers. What were your thoughts on that?
That was wild. I mean, we're very close to work with the Rams in L.A., and it's so similar, right? Because you're like, this team is so good. The Rams were so close. Yep. I think, do you look at it as like they were the second best team in the NFL, right? Because the Patriots obviously weren't competitive with Seattle, and we know the Rams and Seattle were basically even all year, right? I mean, true, is that fair to say? Like the Rams kind of end the year as second in your power poll?
Yeah, and it brings me back because I remember when they drafted Jordan Love, and I'm like, this is it's a wasted pick. You're a player or two away from what we think we're going to the Super Bowl, and you're taking a guy who theoretically is not even going to play this year. So I kind of feel, in I don't know if you saw at the podium, but he kind of had that same reaction.
Yeah, and they've done an amazing job because after their Super Bowl, after that Super Bowl, it seemed like they were the youngest team in the league, and they were going to be rebuilding for like 3 years because they had gone all in for guys in the Super Bowl, and then they turned it around so quickly to get back there. And so I mean, I trust their front office, and I trust that they'll spend the money to still figure out a way to have the right roster. But that is, I mean, you obviously have to believe in a guy so deeply as Goody did with Jordan Love, and I think he was proven right. Now, I still believe, even though he was proven right, he cost the Packers a Super Bowl by doing that. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers wins another Super Bowl had they been more aggressive in that draft. So I thought it was a fascinating move by the Rams.
Well, I think the other thing that stings, because Jordan Love really wasn't considered a reach at that time, because what do you go, Josh, 26?
Yep.
Ty Simpson was a reach. On the boards, they had him going late 20s, and I think that's what stings.
Yeah, but don't you think, like, if you want a quarterback, all it takes is one team trading up, and so maybe they had a sense that somebody was looking to trade up for him. So, I trust the Rams front office that they weren't reaching on that pick, that they had some intel or were just so worried that someone could move up into those teens and grab them.
Right, and it all becomes a moot point if he ends up being a franchise quarterback and he's your guy for the next 8 years.
Well, kind of, though, but I'm saying on the Jordan Love, I think he is a franchise quarterback, but I still think the Packers beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that year if they had more talent, right? Like we could say, they shouldn't have kicked the field goal down 8 or, but like, remember that 2-point conversion, maybe if you had a better wide receiver there, they catch it. And then so I think it doesn't become moot. It's just, as a front office, if you get the quarterback right, you're not going to get criticized a lot. But it doesn't mean that the Packers still may not have won one more Super Bowl had they gone all in on that 2020 draft.
Yeah, I agree.
All righty. Thank you, Craig. Thanks for joining us today. You can listen to you on Sunday Karma every Sunday, 10 to noon.
I'll actually be there this week.
You will? I had you off the schedule, so I'm glad.
Really?
Don't laugh.
Yeah, nice.
Because Jason laughed and we didn't know what it was about.
I think it's because I was just abrupt and sort of said, "See you, Jason."
Okay.
All righty. We'll finish up the show coming up next. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Joshy with the CDL.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
The Green Bay Packers select.
It's officially draft week, and ESPN Wisconsin is your home for everything you need to know.
If there are going to be teams that are interested in moving up to get a specific player, that feels to me to be exactly what Goody needs.
From the first pick to the final name called, we've got it all. Thursday to Saturday, live and local with wall-to-wall coverage. 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, or ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Smalls here. If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds can turn into sinus infections that last weeks, ruining your perfect vacation getaway. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and a pharmacy, it's stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy at home. It includes prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, and no pharmacy lines. Also, no copays. Match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor. Start meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs a medical emergency kit, so order yours online in minutes. It's shipped right to your door. Save $45 with my promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. That's promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
I can't do it today. I already have plans. Something came up. There are a million reasons to put off a cancer screening, but one reason to keep it. Early detection can save lives. Every screening, every result, every early detection matters. At Pfizer, we're fighting against cancer, aiming for 8 cancer breakthroughs by 2030. Join the fight against cancer and get screened at Pfizerforall.com/screenings.
We all know winning means showing up stronger, faster, better than before. And when you're chasing that edge, the Drop by GNC cuts through the noise, bringing you the best new innovations in sports nutrition and performance. From muscle building and strength support to improved recovery and focus, we curate the newest drops from GNC Amp, Pro Performance, and Mega Min. Plus, Ghost, Raw Nutrition, Bucked Up, and the top new brands changing the game. No guesswork, just leveling up. Check out the Drop by GNC for what's new, what works, and what's next.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Rich Eisen here. A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How much will Angie let you grow a beard?
I would say for 3 months I have to keep a beard if I lose.
Okay, and Angie would allow you to have a beard for 3 months.
She doesn't run my life. Drop that.
Yeah, how do you?
On 94.5 ESPN.
There comes a point where you know it's time to do something for yourself. I want real goals, real change, and I decide 2026 is the year I look and feel my best. I'm Josh Namaji, and I'm starting that journey with Milwaukee Weight Loss. From the first consultation, their team really listened to build a customized plan around me and my goals. I'm down over 35 pounds at this point, and I am feeling great. And for a limited time, you can get $200 off with their spring special. This program is different. No intense workouts, prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, no counting calories or points, no drugs, surgeries, or injections, just a proven metabolic reset. Some people can lose up to 20, 30 pounds in a month or two. Milwaukee Weight Loss has already helped thousands of people change their lives. There's no better time than now to take control and start feeling confident again. Schedule a free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Chewy sounded like you when we speed up spots at the end there. What'd you think?
I thought, you know what? He did a great drive driving the bus. All the kids got home safe. He made sure traffic stopped both ways. There's a little ding on the side of the bus, but we can buff that out,
A little
Josh.
ding?
But overall, I give you an A.
Wow. I really appreciate that. And at that, that's all we got. That'll do it for us. This has been Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You can listen to Wilde and Tausch coming up next.
All right, westbound 94 slowing down coming out of the stadium interchange almost to 68th Street. On the eastbound side, backups from Hawley